Well, thank you for this opportunity to talk about how librarians work to establish best practices for data sharing and for educating and promoting a community of practice for data sharing and data management. I'm ELAINE Martin, director of the Countway Library, but I'm here in my role as the co-leader of a community that has designed online training for researchers and librarians in research data management. And that training is called the Research Data Management Librarian Academy. Next slide, please. The 3 points I'd like to make today are these, that we heard speakers this morning talk a lot about how we need partnerships and technological infrastructure to help researchers in their data management, planning, and sharing. And my point is that we also need human expertise, and librarians and libraries are important providers of research data services and can provide that human expertise. Second key point is that the Research Data Management Librarian Academy, known as RDMLA, is free. It's online training, and it has many modules that deal with data management and data services. It is on the Canvas network, and it is shareable, and you can use the materials however you would like, as long as it's not for commercial purposes. And then the third point is that as part of our academy and course of courses, we are creating what we're calling a mini module, which is an abbreviation of one of the modules that is already existing with RDMLA on the NIH data sharing policy, and it'll be launching this summer. Next slide, please. This is a diagram of some of the most common data services that many libraries provide. It is not exhaustive by any means, and is really meant to show as an illustration that librarians have embedded themselves within the research process throughout the data lifecycle. Librarians can offer one-on-one consultation, training, what I call front-end and back-end services, and software products. In terms of consultation, talking about data management plans from our previous speakers, librarians can help researchers understand the DMP tool, help with research writing, or thinking about what could be included in a data management plan, and give assistance. In many cases, we work with our Office of Research to identify, if we know ahead of time, which researchers need DMPs and are referred to these researchers. In addition, we get calls for information about identifying data repositories. There are many types of repositories that we've heard this morning, subject repositories or general repositories. So librarians can help sort out what the different repositories are and what the requirements are for depositing data into these repositories, and help researchers maybe help think about what they should choose in terms of which repository would best meet their research need. In terms of training, many libraries offer data management workshops. Some are introductory principles to data management. Others are more complex, are Python Tableau. Some are online, some are in person, some are just limited to their own institution. Others are like ours, where they're free and on Canvas, and anyone could access this training. So there are many alternatives to training, and your research library could help you with that. And as I said, that more and more libraries are offering specific training on tools such as R, Python, and Tableau. In terms of front-end services, we can help find data sets, help with statistical analysis, and data visualization. Some of these services we offer in our libraries, or we partner with our bioinformatics groups to offer those kinds of services. And the same with back-end services. We can help with what is the data architecture and governance within the institution. We participate in data management working groups, data governance groups, and we can help researchers understand data licensing within their institution. Some of us offer metadata services. We have a unit that helps with metadata assignment for ingesting into our research depository called Dataverse. We talk about formatting for data analysis, and some institutions have their own data repository, like Harvard. And then many libraries either partner with IT or subscribe themselves or license themselves products that will help in data sharing and management, such as products for depositing methods like protocols.io, visualization products like Tableau, statistical products, SPSS, R, Python, and then electronic lab notebooks. Many of us have been comparing different products that are out there. Once our institutions may determine, if any, that they support, IT might work with the tech architecture and the technology related to the ELAINE notebooks, but we go in and talk about data management principles and what might be useful for putting into the notebook. We also archive electronic notebooks as part of our historical collections when a researcher leaves. Next slide, please. Next, I'd like to talk about RDMLA, so Research Data Management Librarian Academy. This is a global, free, online professional development community of practice, as well as online courses. The courses are what we call modules. There are 11 of them right now. They are self-paced. They were designed by faculty, librarians, and researchers from primarily institutions in New England, because we started our community as a community within New England with Harvard, Tufts, BU, Northeastern, Mass College of Pharmacy, and Brown. And with funding from Elsevier, we created the Research Data Management Librarian Academy courses. And the Academy has grown into a partnership and community of librarians and researchers who have taken our online course. We have over 5,000 learners currently within the Academy from 158 different countries. In addition, we are working on translating the first 8 units or modules into simplified Chinese. Although many of our users come from North America and Europe, we had great interest in China for the work that we are doing. And so my co-leader, Dr. Rong Tang from Simmons University, has a contact at National Taiwan University, and we've created a partnership with National Taiwan University to translate the first 8 modules into Chinese. And this effort will be completed and launched this summer. Next slide, please. What does the curriculum look like? As I said, we have 11 units. The first 3 or 4 elementary, they talk about the fundamentals of principles of data management. For libraries, they talk about how you advocate for the library to be a partner within this ecosystem of data management and sharing. And there's unit 4, which actually talks about how you set up a data services unit in your library. But the last few modules are very specific, I think, to not just librarians, but researchers who are interested in data sharing. There is unit 6, which is specifically on data analysis and visualization tools, emphasizing how to use Tableau for data visualization, but also general practices for data visualization. There is unit 7, which deals with coding tools, specifically R and Python, but again, talking about the importance of statistical analysis. There is unit 8, which talks about platform tools. And here we emphasize data repositories, both generally what the characteristics of repositories are, how you choose a repository, but then we also talk about Figshare, Open Science Framework, and then Mendeley data. And then there is a unit on, which is a very new unit on data copyright, licensing, and privacy. A lot about data sharing agreements, that you don't really copyright data, that you need a data sharing agreement and use agreement, and then the privacy needed for the IRB. And then we just launched a unit on data curation. This was done with a faculty member from Simmons that talks about metadata and how you curate data so that it can be preserved for the future. So if there's interest in this curriculum, these are the units in particular that really apply, I think, to what we're talking about in terms of data sharing and planning for the NIH policies. Next slide, please. There's a lot of training out there, but what's unique about this particular training is that we did use an instructional designer to come up with an interactive format for online training. Also, we did a very extensive user experience and assessment review of every module before it was launched. We have a coordinator who is continually looking at the content and feedback. We make changes as needed. The material is free and NCBY, so you can reuse the material. We did come up with this structure with the help of this instructional designer so that we could make the modules very similar and make them very interactive. So each unit has a lecture with slides, there's video, there are exercises, some are the case studies, some are question answer, there are quizzes, and there are readings. At the completion of each unit, the learner can get a completion badge. But for those who want academic credit, we have worked with Simmons University to provide CE credit, 3 CE units for the first 8 modules completed on the basis of passing an exam. We have a comprehensive exam that's delivered online. Learners pass with 75%, they can get CE credit, 3 units. And then for the last 3 units that we just launched, similar process, there's a comprehensive exam and you get 1 credit if you pass those 3 units. Next slide, please. Because we work in a community, we get a lot of feedback from our users about how the future of RDMLA should work and what additional courses or topics they would like covered in RDMLA. And so at our last community retreat, it was really obvious that we needed to think about a way to deliver content on trending topics. And so we've created something called the mini module. The mini module will focus on emerging topics. It will be strictly video. It won't have all the other lengthy template things that I spoke of before, and it'll be a quick turnaround. It'll be webinar interviews and approximately an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending upon the topic. Next slide, please. So the first RDMLA mini module is on the NIH data sharing policy. Our speakers are Taunton Payne and Dr. Cindy Danielson from the NIH, and I saw Taunton was on this call today. Then Dr. Lisa Federer from the National Library of Medicine, and Heather Coates, a librarian from IUPUI. Taunton Payne and Dr. Cindy Danielson will do a video introducing the data sharing plan. Dr. Federer will talk about the bridge between the National Library of Medicine, NIH, and the medical library community. And then Heather Coates will talk about the role that librarians can play in helping promote the policy and helping researchers with their policy writing. And this, Taunton and Cindy will do a video. Lisa will be interviewed by our RDMLA community leader, and Heather will do a video. So we are poised and ready to launch this summer. Next slide, please. So just to kind of wrap up, data management and sharing requires partnership and collaboration amongst many entities. And librarians are effective partners within this culture shift that is needed to promote data sharing and assist researchers in data management and sharing. Next slide. Final slide. If you'd like to access the RDMLA, our community of learners, and our courses, we are on the Canvas network. It's free. Here's how you access the course. It's in your materials. We have a project website on GitHub, and we have social media with different Facebook, Twitter, and other ways that you can reach us. If you have any questions about RDMLA, feel free to let us know and email us. We also have office hours every Wednesday. Our RDMLA coordinator holds office hours, and we get people from all over the world who come into our office hours, whether they have a question about the class or just want to talk about the role of libraries in research data management. Thank you very much.